Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Bubba Fighters stage of the DB Saga Red Zone, and we're going to see just how we can beat it, basically. So we have 5 bosses here. We have Dracula Man, Invisible Man, Bandages, Devil Man, and Grandpa Gohan. Surprised he's not called Grandpa Man. But basically, we are going to be taking on the stage. Dracula Man, Invisible Man, Bandages, Devil Man, and Grandpa Gohan are all fairly different, but I will say for the most part, it's not too hard, this one. Dracula Man recovers HP. He also will lower your attack and defense on his super. His normals are 550k. His damage is around 1.6 million. Aside from that, there's not much to deal with here in terms of mechanics or anything to consider. He also only has 60 million health, which nowadays is not a lot, so you can get through him quite easily. Invisible Man, he has 70 million health, damage of 1.8 million. He has 650k for his normals, and he has a 10% evasion chance. He also disables attack down, sealing, stunning, etc. So that's pretty good. In terms of his overall functionality, with Invisible Man, the more attacks you do, the better. But realistically, overall, his evasion is fairly high, but not insanely high. I think it's a fairly, considered simple kind of mechanism. And, I don't think he has, again, 70 million health, so it's not like he's out there for very long. Next we have Bandages, a little bit more tanky. 120 million health, 750k normals, 2.1 mil super. His big mechanic is that he will deal 15% of the enemy's max HP every single turn. So you'll take 15% damage at the start of the turn. Obviously not ideal. Like, it's very likely you'll probably just, take a ton of damage. Overall, what I will say, for me personally, fundamentally speaking, the best way to counter this is with healing. But for me, this guy is kind of a little bit of a tankier midsection. I think you maybe consider using an active skill and just kind of getting through him as quickly as possible. The sooner you take him out, the sooner you don't have to deal with him, and then life is a little bit easier. Because I think for me personally, many of these units that kind of reduce your HP naturally, with flat percentages, they can just wear you down and leave you quite rough on health. So taking them out quickly, but also doing the small things like picking up same type orbs, letting yourself, get HP back that way is all very important. And it helps a lot. Like, it helps a lot with how you perform things. Devil Man, which is the next phase, he's probably the most interesting out of the lot. 80 million health, a 1.2 mil super, 850k normals, but he crits. So he has a guaranteed critical hit when launching a super. Obviously that's something you have to be aware of. And he reduces damage received from extreme type units. So it's a big factor when you are team building for this event. You don't want to bring extreme type units, you want to bring super units. It's very important. Super units are going to have a much easier time in this Devil Man phase. 80 million health doesn't sound like a lot, but basically when you have that additional damage reduction against extreme, then what ends up happening is he has a very tanky presence against extreme units, which is a bit of a problem. Then obviously finally after Devil Man we have Grandpa Gohan. Grandpa Gohan is, I would say, fairly challenging. He has 150 million HP, 1 million normals, 3 million supers. He massively raises his attack for 1 turn, which is very important because it's going to double the strength of his normals. And he nullifies super attack ceiling effects, grants immunity to being stunned, and disables attack and defense down. It's actually fairly challenging. The most challenging part of Grandpa Gohan is his normals. So the amount of damage you take from his normal super attacks after you have him fire off his super is almost more devastating than the actual super itself. So yeah, realistically, I think that's your biggest challenge when you're facing Grandpa Gohan. And obviously, it's going to depend on you, on your team, etc. as always. So let's talk about your team. So obviously, in terms of raw damage, look, I wouldn't say this event has the most. The highest damage you're going to take is from, Grandpa Gohan's normals. That's really what you need to deal with. All of these phases, the bosses do not have a lot of health. The highest phase is 150 million with Grandpa Gohan. Nowadays, 150 million isn't as much as you would think. Back in the day, it was considered a lot. Now, I would say it's just not a lot at all. So the thing is I would say you don't need a lot to get through this event. What I would suggest is for certain criteria to be met. So firstly, I think you need to build a super team because Devilman's going to give you some problems. Secondly, I would bring a team that has a fair chunk of actives that allows them to boost their overall defense. I would also bring a team that can handle normals. You don't need guys that can handle 4 million super attacks, you need guys that can handle 2 million normals. Evasion seems very strong here. We have a very, very, very strong evasion mechanic here because none of the bosses disable evasion. I would also bring units that are, I would say, active heavy. Like actives feel very helpful here, like I said, because the bosses don't have a lot of health. Being able to fire off 1 or 2 actives, which you're going to see now, what you're seeing now with all the actives and the Gohan actives and everything like that, helps a lot, I think. It really gives you some big burst damage. I went with the Transformation Boost / Dragon Ball Seekers team, just because I wanted to try out a combination of units I haven't really tried out yet. And yeah, I think at this point in time, to be honest with you, I like this team. I think it's fairly good. I think it's quite consistent. I think it's quite solid. I think for me overall, I would probably say it's a good team for this level. It doesn't really have an outright tank. Obviously, I think you could definitely have better slot ones, but I think it's still a lot of fun. I think it's a team that does a really good job, and I do like the synergy. I liked all the active skills, being able to use them from the Devilman stage onwards, which you would have seen, just giving really good burst damage and allowing me to have a bit of an easier time at the end, closing out these phases with relatively low health. Felt really productive and really good to me. So yeah, that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one. So till then, take care, stay safe, and yeah, that's pretty much it from me. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, see you guys next time. Bye.